ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class, Nectar of Devotion. Today is lesson 2. In the last class, we have seen the meaning of Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. The word Bhakti, Prabhupada translates into English as devotional service. That means Bhakti is not just some feeling of a person, it is the activity or the service that a person performs. So that is called as Bhakti or devotional service to the Lord. And Rasa means, in ordinary language we say juice. A fruit has a juice, or the vegetables has a juice which has a taste in it, because of which we are able to swallow, or we are able to eat it. So that rasa. And this rasa is present even in the relations that we have in the material world and also in the spiritual world. The real rasa, the permanently, it is available in the spiritual world. Then Prabhupada explains what is the difference between material rasa and spiritual rasa. The spiritual rasa is eternal, but the material rasa, it is not eternal, it is temporary, and it is described by two words. One is called chapala sukha and other one is called bhoga tyaga. That is because when we engage ourselves in enjoying the rasa of this material world, there is a beginning and there is a end. It is not eternally enjoyable. So we can, when we start enjoying some material pleasure, it looks very nice. And as we go on, our senses gets tired. And at the particular point of time, we want to stop it because we don't like it anymore. That is bhoga and tyaga. So first bhoga, then when we are tired, we feel we want to do tyaga. And chapala sukha, that means it is flickering. It is not permanent. It is not available all the time. Sometimes it is available, sometimes it is not available. So it is called chapala sukha, or flickering, and it ends with our body. You cannot enjoy eternally. That is the meaning of rasa of material world. But in the spiritual world, it is not so. In spiritual world, the rasa is ananda ambudhi vardhanam. It is always increasing. It is unlimited. So one can enjoy it unlimitedly. Then Bhakti Rasa. Then Amrita. Amrita means it is deathless. In this material world, everything has an end. But in the spiritual world, there is no Mrita. It is all Amrita. It is also called nectar. It is a nectarian. Then Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean. Ocean is unlimited. It is having no boundary. The spiritual pleasure has no boundary. So it is called as Sindhu or the ocean. So in total, we can say nectarian oceanic mellows of devotional service unto Lord Sri Krishna. That is the meaning of Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. Now, this Sindhu or this ocean is unlimited. It is oceanic. But we have to understand it according to our capacity or in our whatever Krishna has shown us the mercy. Accordingly, we should learn. So when we start learning about Bhakti, we start with the right path. We cannot directly jump into the Madhurya Rasa or the certain portion of the Bhakti which is not in our capacity to understand. So we should learn this science in a submissive manner with the guidance of Acharya. Srila Prabhupada has recommended to read first 19th chapter of this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for the beginner. And this 19th chapter makes the eastern side, that is Purva Vibhaga. So it is also called as the Bhagavad Bhakti Bheda. So in the Purva Vibhaga, we have Bhagavad Bhakti Bheda Nirupakaha. And in the other sides, that is in the western side, the next comes the southern side. In the southern side, we have Samanya Bhakti Rasa, Bhagavad Bhakti Rasa, and in Paschima or in the western side, it is Mukhya Bhakti Rasa, and in the Uttara or northern side, it is Gauna Bhakti Rasa. So this south, west, and north, they are not part of this Bhakti Shastri. What we learn in Bhakti Shastri is only the eastern side of it. And in this eastern side, there are waves. It's like the ocean creates so many waves. So this remaining part, this eastern side is again divided into 4 lahari. Lahari means the waves. And what are these waves? The first wave, it's called as Pratama Lahari, Samanya Bhakti. The second wave is called Sadhana Bhakti. Third wave is called Bhava Bhakti. And the fourth wave is called Prema Bhakti. So these all divisions we have seen, what are the different chapter numbers, and Sadhana Bhakti is the major portion there, what we are going to learn. That is chapter 2 to 16. Out of 19 chapter number 2 up to chapter number 16, we are studying about Bhakti, that is Sadhana Bhakti. And this Sadhana Bhakti again divided into 2 parts, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And this Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti makes the major portion here from chapter 2 to 14. And last 2 chapters, that is 15 and 16, is for Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So Raganuga is also a Sadhana Bhakti. In this way, the division of the book has been explained. And we also seen how this Rupa Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he got 10 days of instruction in the Dashashwamedha Ghat. All these things we have studied in the last class. Next, let us continue to today's chapter. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So lesson 1, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu review, and discuss the significance of Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada's purposes in writing the Nectar of Devotion. These things we have studied in the last class. And objectives of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that is Akhila Rasamrita Murti, and overview of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and specifically Purva Vibhaga. Today is lesson 2, that is definition of pure devotional service. So today we are going to learn what does it mean by pure devotional service. It is explained by this shloka. Everyone should know this shloka. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. The word uttama is used here. Uttama means pure. Uttama bhakti. What is that uttama bhakti? There are few terms we have to remember. Anya abhilashita shunyam. All other desires are made into zero. And jnana karmadi anavritam. Jnana and karma, the knowledge and activity, are anavritam. That means it is uncovered. Then anukulyena, that means favorable devotional service to Krishna. Anushilanam, that means following the footsteps of previous acharyas. That is called as Uttama Bhakti. Now here, Abhilashita Shunya, that means any desire which is not favorable to the service of the Lord should be made into zero. That means you just give it up. Or dovetail all your desire to serving Krishna. That is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. But Jnana and Karma is not Shunya. We are not making Jnana Shunya or Karma Shunya. It is Anavritam. That means it is uncovered. We are not making our this Jnana and Karma into zero. That means a devotee is not an ignorant person. He is not a sentimentalist. Or a devotee is not a person who gives up all his activities. But what is the difference? Whatever knowledge that is present, which is required for serving Krishna, he will accept it. Whatever activity that is favorable for Krishna, he will accept it. And why it is called anavritam? It should not be covered with the other kinds of knowledge. What is that? Impersonalism and monism, voidism. All these things are uncovered. Just remove all those things, then you have to perform the devotional service. Then the next word comes anukulyena. Anukulyena means anukula. Anukula means it is favorable to Krishna. Remembering Krishna is not only devotees will remember Krishna, but also demons. They also remember Krishna. So if I just say that a pure devotee of Krishna is always remembering Krishna, that is not the complete statement. It may be true, but it is also true for demons. So how to differentiate between the two? That is anukulyena. So it should be done in a anukula state. What is the anukula state? When Kamsa was remembering Krishna, he was remembering that Krishna is my enemy. I want to kill Krishna. Krishna will come and kill me. So don't remember Krishna in this way. That is not devotion. That is not pure devotion. What we have to do? We should remember Krishna as our protector, as our eternal associate, or our eternal father, or our everything. For a pure devotee, Krishna is everything. He is my maintainer. He is my everything. And anukula kara, that means we have to do devotional service to Krishna. We have to offer obeisances to Krishna. We glorify the name of name of Krishna, and we offer bhoga to Krishna. So all these things are anukula. And Krishna anushilanam. Anushilanam means we should perform devotion in the with the guidance of that spiritual master or pure devotees, other pure devotees of the Lord. That is called Anushilanam. Anybody who performs this kind of devotional service, it is called as Uttama Bhakti. So this is the definition for Uttama Bhakti. This is the shloka. So when first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires. Knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. We should serve Krishna as Krishna, according to Krishna's desire, not according to our own desire. So how to become devoid of this material desire? We cannot make our desire into zero. We cannot completely give up all our desires. So it has to be dovetailed. A person may be having so many material desires. Now he wants to do devotional service, pure devotional service. What he has to do? He has to dovetail that desire which he has to for enjoying this material world. He has to convert it into in the service of Krishna. How to use it in the service of Krishna? So that is how a person can convert his desire. Now, how to change this desire, our material desires? Is it so easy? Converting the material desire or making or dovetailing our material desires into the service of Krishna, it is possible by practice of devotional service in the guidance of the devotees of the Lord. That is Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. So when we start doing Bhajana Kriya, next the fourth stage comes the Anartha Nivritti. In this Anartha Nivritti, all our material desires will be removed. And our desire will become desire for serving Krishna. During the time of Srila Prabhupada, there were many fashion designers, so many Matajis. Later, when they become devotees, they started stitching clothes to the Radha Krishna or Radha Govinda. So that is the change of desire. They have some desire, they want to make some fashion. If they make it in the material world, they get entangled. But if they use that same desire for stitching the clothes in different so many ways of fashion, if they use it in the service of Krishna, it will become the devotional service to Krishna. So that is how one can dovetail his material desire. And knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy, the philosophy which says that we and Krishna will become one, and there is no separate existence. So this kind of knowledge should be given up. But what kind of knowledge one should remember? The knowledge which is explained in Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge which is there in Bhagavatam, or the Brahma Samhita, which explains the spiritual world. All this knowledge we should remember, we should understand how Krishna is there in the spiritual world. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Samasitambuda Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. These are the description of spiritual world. This knowledge is needed. The knowledge which is related to the soul, that is needed. The knowledge of the Lord or the super soul, and the Lord, it is needed. The knowledge of this material world, which will help us to understand the temporary nature of this world, is also needed. How this creation is made, who is there behind this creation, this knowledge is needed. And also the knowledge of the spiritual world. What will happen if a person gets liberated when he goes back to Krishna? What happens there? This knowledge is also needed, but not the knowledge which is stating monistic philosophy. And also activities, fruitive action should be given up. When a person performs activity, as a devotional service, it will not have material effect. It will have only the spiritual effect, or he will get only the spiritual benefit. Otherwise, generally, when a person performs fruitive action or activity related to the material world, either he will get pious credit or he will get impious credit, or it will be a mixed. So both will be there. So both are entangling. If a person does impious activity, he will be taken to the hell, and if he performs pious activity, he has to go to heaven and enjoy that material pleasure and come back here. In the both case, he is not able to come out of the birth and death. But when a person is performing devotional service, that will be credited into a different account where he will be able to go back to Godhead. So that is explained here. The fruitive action has to be given up. The devotional service has to be performed. And constantly one has to serve Krishna in a favorable manner. That is called pure devotional service. These things again we can divide into two parts. One is called Swarupa Lakshana, other one is called Tatastha Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana means essential characteristics, and Tatastha Lakshana means marginal characteristics. The same characteristics, whatever we learned just now, it is divided into two parts. So what are the essential characteristics? They are called Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. That is the second part of the shloka. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam is the Swarupa Lakshana of the Jiva. And what is Takshana, this Tatastha Lakshana? That is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. That is the marginal characteristic. So essentially, by nature, that is called Swarupa. It is the devotional service will have Anukulyena. Always the devotee will be serving the Lord in his favor and serving Krishna directly, and Anushilanam under the footsteps of pure devotees. And Tatastha Lakshana means because the living entity is present in this material world, these Lakshana, these characteristics are explained. Give up all your material desires. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Give up your jnana, the knowledge which you have obtained, which is telling about the monistic philosophy or the activity which you are performing in the fruitive action, as a fruitive action. So this Anya Abhilashita and Jnana Karmadi Anavrita, this is these characteristics are because of our present existence. Because we are the marginal energy of the Lord. When a person is in the material world, he can go back to Godhead, or also he can go back to the animal kingdom. So both options are there. That's why he is called as Tatastha. Tata means the river side or ocean side, the beach. So one side there is water, other side there is land. You can go to water or you can go to land. Similarly, when a person comes to human form of life, he has two options. Either go back to Godhead or go back to animal life. That's why he is called as Tatastha, or in English it is called marginal. Anukulyena means it is a Swarupa Lakshana. It is a favorable devotional service which is pleasing to Krishna and performed with the intention to please Krishna. See, these 2 points has to be fulfilled. Now, pleasing to Krishna, can we say all our activities which is pleasing to Krishna is devotional service? Can anyone answer this question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can we call all our activities which is pleasing to Krishna to be pure devotional service? Or is there
Yes.
any other conditions required? This is like, see, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the law book of devotion. So when you go to a lawyer, you should be very careful while giving the statement. If you give a general statement, then they can twist it in any way. So here also, Rupa Goswami is making the statement very clear so that nobody can twist the meaning of bhakti. So the question is, pleasing to Krishna. If our devotional service or if our activity is pleasing to Krishna, then can we call all the activities that is pleasing to Krishna to be pure devotional service?
Yes, Prabhuji. If it is pleasing to Krishna, then it should be pure devotional.
Then there is no need to say second sentence.
Yes, Prabhuji. That's why it is all pleasing activities need not be devotional service. Sometimes I can do acts and gestures which can be liked by God and it would be pleasing to Him, but the intent with which I did may not be for the purpose of pleasing God.
Yes. So that's why there are two sentences. So this is how the lawyers speak. So pleasing to Krishna and also intention is also pleasing to Krishna. If both are satisfied, then it is pure devotional service, not otherwise. Now you can take the example of the people who were present in the arena of wrestling when Krishna was wrestling in front of Kamsa. This Chanura and Mushtika. These people were fighting with Krishna. They were hitting Krishna. Krishna was enjoying it. He was very happy. He wanted to wrestle with them. Even the Hiranyaksha, he was fighting with Krishna. He was taking pleasure in it, the Varahadev. But is he doing devotional service there? No, he wanted to kill Krishna. But Krishna took it as a pleasure. So pleasing to Krishna is not enough. You should say intention to please Krishna. Now, if the intention is to please Krishna, but if it is not pleasing to Krishna, can we call it as devotional service? If the first point is not satisfied, second point is satisfied, can we call it as devotional service?
Yes, Prabhuji.
No.
No,
No, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji.
both has to be satisfied.
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So if we say Yashoda Mata, she wants to feed Krishna, and Krishna is not willing to eat. So it is not pleasing to Krishna. But her intention is to please Krishna. So can we call it as pure devotional service?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yes.
the mother also
Yes,
is
yes.
Yeah.
looking
So
after.
the intention becomes more important. If a person does something with an intention to please Krishna, externally Krishna may not show he may show that he is not pleased. But what intention you have behind it, that intention matters. So devotional service has to be performed in a favorable manner with an intention to please Krishna. So that is called as pure devotional service.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I add an example here? Which category it falls into? Because we had one relative who
Yeah.
was having some, he was speaking to us like, I have some kundli dosh and some astrological problems. So I have to do some donation for a temple construction. So I suggested, why don't you donate to ISKCON Bangalore? And I gave them the link and told, if you have to donate somewhere only, why not do it here only? So he did that. So which kind, is it in any of the categories that it is falling? Because his intent was, I want to get rid of my astrological problems, whatever is there in my chart. And my intent was that if he'll go and do it somewhere, why not divert it this side? So it will help in the temple construction. So that is how I did it. So which category does it fall into?
Yeah, your intention was just to get rid of him, or you wanted to do some service to Lord?
My intention was definitely to do service to the Lord, because we told him that we have been doing, so you also do. This is the best thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the 2 points. If you
And
just
from his
wanted to-
perspective,
pardon?
from his perspective, was it a devotional service?
Yeah,
The first point which you are mentioning.
yeah. If he is done is just to get rid of this problem, then it is not pure devotional service. If
Okay.
it is done with an intention to please Krishna, then it is pure devotional service.
So
If
there are
somebody-
two different. Okay.
If somebody forces, you must do this, you must chant this, you must have this prasadam, then okay, for you, I will have it. Because of your force, I will have it. That is not pure devotional service. Because heart is not involved. If your intention is good, if you are really want to do some service with that intention you have, if you are done, then it becomes pure devotional service.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Here, what we are trying to do is, in general, whoever taken birth in this land of Bharat, they are devotees. Prabhupada says, in India, everyone is devotee. Why? Because it is there in their blood. Everyone knows Rama, everyone knows Krishna. So everyone practices one or the other kind of devotional activities. So we want to categorize, or we want to clear cut what is pure devotional service and what is Samanya Bhakti. Samanya Bhakti means just like go to temple, pay obeisances and put some kanike and come back. You cannot call this as pure devotional service, because we go with some material desire. Oh Lord, give me this, I will give you this. So if I get this much profit in my business, I will give this much portion to you. So this is a kind of business. So remove all these things, or I do some certain kind of yoga practices so that I can get a pure peace of mind, or I may get some siddhi, or I may get some fame or money. So some kind of material desire or some kind of spiritual desire, in the sense to become one with the Lord. So all these kinds of intentions has to be removed. So we are giving the definition of this pure devotional service. What is this pure devotional service? Now, after learning this first chapter, we will be continuing how to achieve this pure devotional service. What are the different steps? So this is like goal setting. This is what we have to achieve. So we can analyze ourselves, where do I stand? And then we should understand where do I want to go and what is the process. So that's how our journey will continue. So in this way, if you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, 43 chapter, text number 17, in that, when Krishna was there in the arena, wrestling arena, there are so many people present, and they saw Krishna with so many different ways. And that cannot be considered, everyone cannot be considered as pure devotee of the Lord. This is Mallanam. You can read the shloka later, because we'll go to the translation. The various groups of people in the arena regarded Krishna in different ways when he entered it with his elder brother. The wrestlers saw Krishna as a lightning bolt, the men of Mathura as the best of the males, the women as Cupid in person, the cowherd men as their relative, the impious rulers as a chastiser, his parents as their child, the king of the Bojas as death, the unintelligent as unintelligent as the Supreme Lord's universal form. That means one who is not intelligent. And the yogis as the absolute truth, and the Vrishnis as their supreme worshipable deity. So in this way, there are many people who saw Krishna in so many ways. So everyone we cannot put in the same category. So one who is serving Krishna with the intention to please Krishna, which is favorable to the Lord, then it is called as pure devotional service. Otherwise, it cannot be considered as pure devotional service. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, people like wrestlers, Kamsa, and the impious rulers perceive Krishna as dangerous, angry, or threatening because they fail to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. Actually, Lord Krishna is everyone's friend and well-wisher, but because we rebel against him, he chastises us, and thus we may perceive him as threatening. Krishna or God is actually merciful, and when he punishes us, that is also his mercy. So you can go through this later. You can remember the number 10, 43, 17. Next, anybody would like to read, they can raise their hand. Jayanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We should understand Swarupa Lakshana, Krishna. We should understand Krishna to mean Krishna as his personal expansions. So Krishna includes all such expansions as well as his pure devotees. Introduction, page 23.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you can have the book with you when you are reading. If you go to page number 23, you will find this sentence. So when we say Krishna, it includes his associates. You should not say, I want to do devotional service to Krishna, so I will neglect all other people. So Krishna means it is all inclusive. Just like when we say king, it is all inclusive. King has the kingdom, his ministers, his queen, everything is there. So when we say the king is coming, it means that everyone is coming. All are there with him. So similarly, when we say, I want to perform pure devotional service to Krishna, that means we should be favorable to all other expansions as well as his pure devotees. We cannot neglect the devotees of the Lord and perform devotional service to Krishna. That is not possible. So we should follow the footsteps of pure devotees of the Lord. Then only we will get the mercy of the Lord. So how to follow them? That is explained in this next line. Anu Shilanam. So Anu means following constantly. Shilanam means the behavior. How we want to follow. Anu Shilanam. The word Anu means to follow. And Shilanam means with a right kind of behavior. Yeah, Muralidhar Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji. The particular word used by Srila Rupa Goswami in this connection is Anushilana, or cultivation by following the predecessor acharyas. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Without activity, consciousness alone cannot help us. Introduction, page 21.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Here, Anushilanam. So when we are practicing devotional service, first we have to take the help of pure devotees of the Lord and we follow in their footsteps. Whatever instruction they have given, accordingly we should follow. Prabhupada has told us, chant 16 rounds daily and follow 4 regulative principles. Eat only Krishna Prasadam. Read my books. These are the instructions. When we follow this, it is called as Anushilanam. And cultivation, that is activity. Only consciousness is not possible. One cannot come to Krishna consciousness without performing Krishna conscious activities. One must perform Krishna conscious activities, then he will come to the Krishna conscious platform. That is the process. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Swarupa Lakshana. Anushilanam. The word Anu suggests that one should engage himself in the service of the Lord without any interval. He must be engaged in the service cent per cent and always. There must not be any interruption in such progress of devotional service. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, BTG Volume 3, May 20, 1960. Shil Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. So here it is a continuous process. Every day we must chant. Every day we should follow the regulative principles. It is not that sometimes I follow, sometimes I don't follow. That is not anushilana. That is not consistency. So one should be very continuous in his practice of spirituality. Then only he will get the benefit, whatever the spiritual benefit he has intended to do. It has to be done continuously, and there should not be any break. That is the meaning of anushilanam. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. The definition of pure devotee as given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu can be summarized. This is the summary of whatever we have discussed. His service is favorable, that is Anukula, and is always in relation to Krishna, that is Anushilana. So Anukula and Anushila, these both words has to be taken care. Anukulyena, that means Krishna should get the pleasure from it, and devotee's attitude towards Krishna should be favorable. And then Krishna. Krishna means Krishna and his expansions, that is Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, all these incarnations are involved. And Krishna's paraphernalia. So when we do service to Krishna, we should take care of his paraphernalia very carefully. A devotee means he knows how to take care of the paraphernalia of devotee, paraphernalia of Krishna. It's like we dress Krishna, the dress of Krishna, the flute of Krishna, or the jewelry of Krishna. All these things has to be taken care as good as Krishna himself. There is no difference. The Sudarshana Chakra of Krishna, the club, that is Gada, it's called Kaumodaki. So Nandaka, the Khadga. So all these things, they are all as good as Krishna, because they are the servants of Krishna and Krishna's pure devotees. We should take care of all these things equally. We cannot remove all these things, and we cannot say that I worship only Krishna. I don't want anything else. That is not possible. I don't care for the devotees, or I don't care for anybody in between. It is direct service, me and Krishna, nobody in between. That is not possible. That is not the right attitude. One should always go through the footsteps of pure the predecessor acharyas, the previous acharyas, whoever has come in our parampara. We should go through that. And the success that we get in spirituality is by becoming the servant of servant of servant. We should not try to become the boss. That is the material nature. In the material world, if you want to become happy, one should try to become the boss or control everyone. You have more control, you will become more happy. Only material happiness, which is temporary. But in spiritual world, as a person becomes the more and more servant, he will be more and more advanced. As a person becomes more humble, he will receive more mercy. So that is how the spiritual progress takes place. So Krishna means all inclusive. Then Anushilanam. Constantly, always one should perform the activities, the devotional service, following the predecessor acharyas. Next, coming to the Tatastha Lakshana. Anya Abhilashita Shunya, that is other desires, Ishita Shunya, that is other motives, like why I am performing devotional service. If this is the question, then it is, we should say, I am performing devotional service to please Krishna, with an intention to please Krishna. That should be the answer. If we say, I want to do devotional service because I want to get some material pleasure, or I want to get some benefit, then it is not pure devotional service. It is a mixed devotional service. If the devotional service is mixed with the karma or different activity, if I am attached to that activity, then it is not pure devotional service. If the pure devotional service is contaminated with jnana, then it is not pure devotional service. Or yoga. All these things are contamination. They are not pure. Jnana karmadi anavrutam. Jnana means impersonal philosophy. Here we are not telling the jnana which is related to Krishna. That jnana is needed. The jnana or knowledge which is impersonal or becoming one with the Lord, that jnana has to be uncovered. And fruitive activities has to be given up. And also there is a word adi. It refers to artificial detachment or mystic yoga. These things also has to be given up. Here we are putting a very high standard now. So there is nothing to get panic. Oh, devotional service is so difficult. You are telling so many points. You are speaking like a lawyer. So this is like our goal is this one. So how to achieve this, how much we can go, that we'll be discussing in the next coming classes. So when we are defining, if your definition itself is not correct, then our path will not be right. So everyone, whoever performing devotional service, he should have the right definition of the devotion. What you are going to achieve by performing this. So somebody may come tomorrow, or you are chanting every day 16 rounds, every day you are spending 2 hours in the early morning. What are you going to get? If they ask this question, how do we answer this question? So we should have answer to this. So if we give a wrong answer, or if we give some answer, then they may say this is available otherwise also. Why are you trying this? You can achieve this through other way also. So what is the need for going through this process only? Then they can shake us unless we have the right knowledge. So that knowledge is needed. But we should not have a wrong knowledge, that is impersonal philosophy. Impersonal philosophy, it is a beginning. That means when a person comes to spirituality, and if he is not coming in touch with the devotees, in such cases, a person may go into the impersonal philosophy. He may get attracted to the impersonal philosophy, because the personal feature of the Lord, it is available only through the devotees of the Lord. Otherwise, it is not possible to get it. So in the absence of the proper guidance, the person may go to impersonal philosophy. And fruitive activity, it is like every jiva is like pleasure sensing object. Like there are many weapons. There will be some heat sensing or some different kind of senses are there. So the living entity is a pleasure sensing element. We always try to find some pleasure. We want to become happy some or other way. If you find an ant in the room, it is also pleasure sensing. Where do I get some eating, or where do I get some shelter? How can I become happy? Every animal is trying to do this. If it is an animal or a bird or a snake, everything, we are trying to get some pleasure. So when we are performing devotional service, there are so many byproducts. So such things, if we are getting attached, then it is fruitive activity. The material byproducts. That kind of karma should be given up. And adi is used. In adi, etc., there are many others like artificial detachment. What is that artificial detachment? It's like bogatyaga, which we have discussed in the beginning. We are not really, I don't want, but it is not available, so I don't want. It is not presently, it is not available, so I am detached from it. But if I am getting it easily, then I want it. This is called artificial detachment. Just like there is a small children, we say that story. There was a fox which tried to get the some fruits. What is that? Grapes.
Grapes.
It was at a very height, and it could not jump. And then it told that these grapes are very sour. They are not good, and I am also not interested to eat it. So it went away. So that is artificial detachment. So that is also removed. And mystic yoga, one should not be carried away by this mystic yoga, because as we go on performing devotional service, the pure devotees of the Lord, they are they have all the power. When Lord Hanuman went to Lanka, he could become smaller like a small cat, and he could become bigger as a big hill. So these things Hanuman has not done any, he has not gone to Himalaya, or he has not performed any Ashtanga yoga. But he got all these things by the mercy of Lord Ram. He is the eternal servant of Lord Ram. So that is devotional service. A devotee means he has everything, but he is not interested in those things. A devotee, if he wants, he can become more than Brahma. He can control everything. But if that is the intention, then he will not be called as a pure devotee of the Lord. Krishna will give anything except pure devotion to him, because pure devotion can control Krishna. This point we will discuss in the next class in more detail. So all these byproducts, which are very, very attractive otherwise for ordinary people who are trying to achieve this, and they dedicate their entire life. There are many yogis who go to Himalaya, and what they achieve is, in a 30 year, I did some yoga and now I can walk on water. But what is the need? I can take a boat and go, instead of doing 30 years of austerity. So that is the benefit. So this mystic yoga, the magic, what they get, it is very attractive. But that is, the result is very, very small. As soon as they give up this body, it's gone. In the next life, they don't get it. Then they have to start from beginning. It's like in this life, I might have got so many degrees. But in the next life, in case if I get human form of life, I have to start from LKG again. First standard, again I have to clear my SSLC exam. Then again I have to continue. So that is the material situation. But spiritually, whatever advancement we have made, it is permanent. So that is the Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. And Anavritam means uncovered. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Anavritam, uncovered by mental speculation of fruitative activities. Karm Kanda, Gyan Karmadi Anavritam, not covered. If you mix up karma with bhakti, if you mix up jnana with bhakti, or if you mix up yoga, it is contaminated. It is not pure.
Continue, Mataji.
Pure devotional service is given by Rupa Goswami, Anabhilashita Shunyam. No desire for fruitative activities or philosophical speculation or yogic, mystic yogic, magic. No, simply how to satisfy Krishna, that is bhakti. Anukulyena means what is favorable, what Krishna desires, that is first class bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.18, Calcutta, September 26, 1974. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So the devotee, pure devotee of the Lord, he is always thinking about the favorable condition for Krishna. He is not thinking about himself. Just like there is a story when Krishna got headache, everyone was trying to solve the problem and nobody knew what is the solution. Then Krishna himself says, if any of my devotee gives the dust from his feet and applies on my forehead, then my headache will go away. But who is ready to give? If somebody puts his dust on Krishna's head, he will go to hell. So nobody is ready. So Krishna tells Narad Muni, you go to Vrindavan and ask gopis to solve this problem. So gopis immediately gave. How much you want? You take. Then Narad Muni asked them, why, don't you know that you will go to hell by doing this activity? They told, no problem. If we go to hell, no problem. You let Krishna get cured first. So that is Anukulyenam Krishna Anushilanam. So intention is good. So it is favorable to Krishna. They just want to please Krishna. That is the pure devotional service to Krishna. Swarupa Lakshana, we have seen Anukulyena, Krishna. So Anukulyena means favorable. Krishna means Krishna, Krishna's paraphernalia, his devotees, all inclusive. And Anushilanam, constantly one has to follow the footsteps of pure devotees. And Tatastha Lakshana, that is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. No other desires than serving to pleasing Krishna, and the jnana and karma, which is not favorable for doing devotional service, it has to be removed. Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavana. Actually, Krishna consciousness can be based simply on hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. Described in the Srimad Bhagavatam are 9 different processes, besides which everything done is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Thus, one should always be guarding against fall down. Introduction, page 24. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Shri
So,
Prabhupada ki jai.
right.
Hare.
So hearing, chanting, remembering. So this is the process how we can advance in Krishna consciousness. We should perform it in the favorable way to Krishna. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It is only for our guidance that Srila Rupa Goswami prepared his book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is now presented in the form of the Nectar of Devotion. Persons engaged in the Krishna conscious movement may take advantage of this great literature and be very solidly situated in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So this is the intention of making this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It is the law book of ISKCON, or law book of Bhakti. Anybody wants to know what is the real meaning of Bhakti, he has to read this book, study this book, and understand what is the real purpose of practicing Krishna consciousness. It is the law book. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session. Today's session is very small. This is the what we have seen is what is pure devotional service. What are the different terms? The Tatastha Lakshana and Swarupa Lakshana, all these things we have studied. Now, in the next, till now, we have not started the first chapter. We are still in the introduction. The first chapter will be starting in the next class, that is lesson number 3. Characteristics of pure devotional service. There are 6 characteristics that is visible in a person who has developed pure devotional service. So if we can check whether do we have all these characters. This character will start from all the levels, that is Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, up to the level of Prema Bhakti. In whatever state we are, accordingly, these characteristics are visible in that person. So when we perform devotional service, when we chant every day Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, some people naturally feel, oh, I have done service so much, so I might become pure devotee now. So just a kind of ego comes within us. I have done so many years of devotional service, or I have learned so many books. So all those things we can just identify where do I stand by understanding this first chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the very first chapter itself, it will tell us where do I stand. So this will be discussed in the next class. Okay, so we can have Kirtan now. And after that, if there are any questions, we'll answer. Who is going to sing, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Can I share the screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, you are the host. Yeah.
Yeah. जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरेजार चरणा वंदन जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरेजार चरणा वंदन नीलाचल शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधर नदिया नगर दंड कमंडलुकर कोहे बोले प्ररवित रावणा बदीला गोलोकेर वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरिला नीलाचल शंख चक्र गदा पद्मधर नदिया नगर दंड कमंडलकर हो बोले पुरवेत रावणा बदीला गोलोकेर वैभव लीला प्रकाश कोरिला जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंद त्रिभुवन कोरेजार चरणा वंदन श्री राधार भावे एवे कोरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरिला प्रचार वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ हाथ जय गौरा से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ श्री राधार भावे एवे गोरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरिला प्रचार वासुदेव घोष भोले कोरी जोड़ हाथ जय गौरा से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवन कोरेजार चरणा वंदन जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवन कोरेजार चरणा वंदन हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Translation all glories to dear son of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. All the three worlds offer prayers unto his lotus feet. In Neelachala, he holds the conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower, while in the town of Nadia, he holds a sannyasi staff and water pot. It is said that in olden times, as Lord Ramachandra, he killed demon Ravana. Then later, as Lord Krishna, he revealed the splendorously opulent pastimes of Goloka. It is he who has come. He has come. From Vraja, he has come to Nadia, accepting the mood and lustre of Sri Radha. He has come from Vraja to Nadia. He has come now Lord Govinda, the cowherd boy. He has come as Lord Gauranga. He has come distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Vasudeva Ghosha says with folded hands, he who is Gaura is he who is Krishna and he who is Jagannath. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you're on mute, I believe.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, regarding today's class, whatever doubts anybody has, they can raise their hand. The definition of pure devotional service. Yeah, Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare.
This is regarding pure devotional service. Like when am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
So like recently, as you have mentioned now today, I got an understanding. So when we persuade people to donate or give, it does it fall into that category? Like, because abhi there was Makar Sankranti last week, and before prior to that, I got an idea from a child of my colleague, because that person was moving with a box, came to the office and was collecting from all the employees, like give some donation for some school funding for some Shiksha Kendra and all. So I was also, that idea came to me and I started persuading people that it is now Makar Sankranti, that you'll as it is do some dan for that particular, those who are Hindus. So why not donate it to our ISKCON Mangalore and do some Annadan over there for devotees? So I was persuading them, though I had to at times also use some emotional angle to it, that it is so convenient, you will be doing it online. Like I was persuading them. So is it like now I'm feeling like, was it wrong on my part to persuade? Because at times you have to push a little also. Some were very willing, but for few I pushed them. Why don't you do it? It's good. Why not have some good deeds done in this life only, and like that preaching. So I want to have a clarity on that.
Yeah. First of all, we should understand what is pure devotional service. It is very high level, Mataji. Whatever the pure devotional service to Lord Krishna, we will understand it in the next chapter. There are 6 characteristics that are visible when a person begins his devotional service, and when he becomes perfect, he will develop all these 6. All the 6 characteristics will be visible in him. So, what is pure devotional service? If you understand, then you yourself will say that it is this cannot be called as pure devotional service, but it is a beginning, or it is a kind of devotional service. As a beginner, one can perform, or from his side, it is just like a because of you have told, or because you told him, or you have made him to do the charity, he has done it. It is the intention was not purely the pleasing to Krishna. So it cannot be considered as pure devotion to Krishna.
So Prabhuji, does it has a fault in that? Because I was persuading them because I wanted that thing for Krishna, for
No,
that Annadan.
there
So
is
at
nothing
that
fault.
person, they were willing, because they, as it is, do few of them, because they have a tendency, like they do it on that day. But I was trying to divert it in this direction. So was it wrong on my part? Or
No. See, pure, if we are, see, pure devotional service is very difficult, means it is very far from our present condition. So whatever we are doing, let us do. Like chanting, we are not doing pure chanting. There are 3 levels of chanting: Nama Parada, Nama Bhasa, and Shuddha Nama. Nama Parada means inattentive chanting, and we are just chanting for the sake of chanting. It has been told. So if I have to if I have to call myself as devotee, I have to do this chanting. Otherwise, I can't. So for that sake, let me chant. So that kind of chanting is not pure. It is aparadha. There are 10 offenses. And when we are trying to bring back our mind again and again, which is running away, then we'll come to the nama bhasa state, where the person will feel the presence of the Lord, or it is compared to the sunrise. The sun, when it rises, there is light, but the sun is not visible in the beginning, in the early morning. It's called Arunodaya. Aruna is the carrier of sun. Just like Lord Krishna, he has Garuda. Garuda and Aruna both are brothers. So sun is called, carried by Aruna. So first comes Aruna, then comes Surya. So it is called Arunodaya. So there is no sun in the sky, but still everything is bright. Similarly, when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we feel that presence of the Lord, or we get some kind of enlightenment, or we get some kind of attraction to the holy name, but still we have not come to the pure state. So that is the Nama Bhasa. Then comes pure Shuddha Nama. This Nama Bhasa itself is capable of giving moksha, or it can liberate us. Even if you don't go to the pure Shuddha Nama, the liberation is guaranteed at the second state itself. And what is the benefit of third state, higher one? That will give the prema of Krishna, or Krishna prema is available in the Shuddha Nama state. So Haridas Thakur was chanting in the Shuddha Nama state. When somebody is chanting in the Shuddha Nama and we hear that chanting, we will also get attracted to Krishna, or the bhakti seed will develop in us. Just like when we hear the chanting of Srila Prabhupada, it will help us to advance in spirituality. Similarly, the Shuddha, this bhakti, that is pure devotional service, it is much higher, at a much higher platform. So there is nothing to worry or nothing to think whether I am doing devotional service is pure or not, because you are not doing devotional service. It doesn't. You are not doing pure devotional service doesn't mean that whatever you are doing, it is not at all devotional service. That is not the meaning. You are doing is whatever you are doing is devotional service, definitely, but it has to be uncovered, or it has to be purified more and more. It has to advance. So still there is long way to go.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So that will be discussed. I don't want to open up that topic now. If I open, it will take a lot of time. So we will discuss. We'll keep this for next class.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Rita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. You partly answered my question already, since I had already raised my hand. So, Prabhuji, this only what I wanted to ask, that having a desire to go to Krishna, to do a bhakti, that again is a desire, no? I know you told that pure Bilasha Shunyam and pure devotional service is much higher. But then I don't think so in this life we can reach that stage ever, because we still have a desire that at least one incentive should be there of doing a bhakti, that we can go to Lord. We don't want to come back again. So that again is wrong, no, Prabhuji?
No, Mataji. Whenever we think of this spirituality, we negate everything. But that is not the right way. We should accept what is favorable. We should reject what is unfavorable. Now, generally, while telling a person who is attached to his family, he is a materialist. Or one who is always working for his family only, is thinking of his family. But does it mean that a person who is not at all taking care of his family, he is a pure devotee?
No.
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 Devotee means if he has family members who are devotees, then it is his duty to take care of them, or it is his duty to facilitate their devotion. So that is attachment again, but it is the right way of attaching.
Okay.
So that is the real Vairagya, Yukta Vairagya. Vairagya word in English we say detachment. It is not complete detachment. It is the right way of detachment. Be detached from the material attachment, but attached to the spiritual attachment or spiritual attraction. So similarly, when you are attached to Krishna, it is the real attachment that is needed. So if you have the desire to see Krishna, that is not wrong. Taking care of wife and children when they are devotees, that is your duty. And that is also a part of your devotional service. Because when they do devotion, it will come to you also. There is credit for you also. But anybody, if somebody is practicing Krishna consciousness and you are showing some affection to them, or you are helping them in some way, you are providing them some books to read, Srila Prabhupada's books, or chanting, you may purchase some bead bags and give to them. These all are coming in the devotional service only. We should not think I am attached to this person, that's why I am helping, so I should give up this. No. What is the intention? You check. Then you do it. Otherwise, it will become again impersonalism or Mayavada. The Kunti Devi praise to Krishna. Ata Vishwesha Vishwatman Vishamurte Swakeshume Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dridam Pandushu Vrishnishu. Means Kunti is telling, oh Krishna, please break all my attachment to this Vrishnis and Pandu. She has two attachments. Means one is from his parents' side, other one is from husband's side. So she's asking Krishna to cut off all these things. And again she tells, I don't want a impersonal liberation. I don't mean that. Those acharyas will comment there. So this doesn't mean that she wants to merge, or she is negating everything. She wants attraction to Krishna. If that is being troubled, then you must go for giving up that. Otherwise, one must accept all kinds of responsibilities.
And Prabhuji, another thing is that somewhere or the other, if you are serving Lord in any way, there is a little feeling of pleasure inside. That is that if you introspect yourself, oneself, we keep seeing if you do something, or even a slightest service, but there is some pleasure. But that includes the same pleasure what you explained, that we should not have that pleasure with us, which you explained in the class.
No, beginner. It is like beginning state. That is not the ultimate benefit. Anybody who performs any small devotion to Krishna, it will definitely give some benefit or some pleasure. If we go to temple and if we offer a flower to Krishna, or if we, even if you go and broom the floor of the temple, there is some kind of satisfaction.
Correct.
That is not available otherwise. In outside, even if you please a person with everything he asks, you do everything, but still he may not be pleased, or he pleased or not, we don't get that satisfaction, complete satisfaction. But if we are doing a very, very small service to Krishna also, there is a kind of satisfaction. That is the difference between spiritual and material pleasure. So that doesn't mean that he is at the pure devotional service, or he has achieved the ultimate goal. It is like something is given. Just like whenever some new person comes, Krishna gives some sweet. It is like introduction. We can see this. A person who comes to Krishna consciousness in the very beginning, he will be very active, and he wants to chant 16, 32, 64. It will go for 1 week. After that, everything will be come down. So that is the beginning boost that Krishna gives. He will get a lot of pleasure. But as they go on, they will understand, oh, this is not going to continue every time. So if I have to be consistent, then I should be realistic. So whatever possible, then I have to do that.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji, your audio is little dull.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I will increase my audio. Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is just a follow-up question to what you just said. If family members are devotees, and then if you serve them, that is also a kind of devotional service that you do. In case the family members are not devotees, then what do we do, Prabhuji?
You can do two things. One is pray to Krishna to make them devotees. You can take them to temple, give them prasadam, and create a devotional environment at home. And if they are favorable, then it is good. You can continue. But if they are completely unfavorable, if they are trying to harm your devotion, then you should maintain some distance. But generally that doesn't happen. What happens generally is parents will say, or the relatives say, you do whatever you want, you don't disturb me. They will just maintain some gap. In such case also, there is no harm. So you can continue your practice. And if they want, they can take up. You can always give them some advice or some opportunity. Because whenever there are devotees, they will spread Krishna consciousness. It is like Corona. If one person gets, it spreads to all. So if one devotee is there at home, one or the other way, they will do some or other devotional activity. So they will get some ajnat sukriti. So that will happen. Generally, that will happen. But those who are very strong in their spirituality, they will make others also devotees. If that is not possible, at least you can maintain some distance and you can go on. But in very rare case, what happens, the parents or the relatives, they will harm our devotion. So in such case, you should maintain some distance. It means you should take some action. Maybe, yeah, I think it will be discussed personally. Separately, you can discuss with the devotees. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kiruva Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
What is this monistic philosophy, Prabhuji? Any simple example you can give me?
Mono means one. Generally, there is a philosophy. People think that me and God is same. Actually, we are same, but because I am under Maya, that means under illusion, I'm thinking we both are separate. So once I give up this body, or once I come to perfection, I don't have a separate existence. I'll become one with the Lord. That is monistic philosophy, which is wrong, because eternally the jiva is separate from the Lord.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Deepti Sahu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandapana. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such an enlightening session. It has really helped. But Prabhuji, my question is a follow-up question to what Sarita Mataji and Rakshita Mataji was saying. Like, sometimes what happens, we practice devotional service at home and people are partially favorable. It's not that they're completely favorable. So they are partially devotees of the Lord. And sometimes what happens when we practice, we also want others to practice. So what happens, even if the lectures are getting played, instead of the earphones, we disturb them, and when they reply back something, it seems that we are hurting them. I mean, and then the point comes that wherein I start feeling that the person should not get the reactions of this. So at the same time, there are mixed emotions, mixed feelings. Like, we want to help them. At the same time, we don't want them to be disturbed by it, but we want the mercy of the Lord onto them so that we can continue them and they can also start or continue in their devotional service. Because it's not that it's not completely there, the devotional service for the Lord, but yes, I mean, obviously, Prabhuji, it's like, it's a bit difficult, it's not smooth. The process is not smooth at home, it's in the family life. So how it happens is the feelings which we get, whether we are also binding ourselves in another reaction cycle or in the form of karmas, or how is it? I mean, probably how shall we understand this? Or we should stop disturbing them at all. But that way, there would be no mercy of the Lord then. So, Prabhuji, please guide on this particular point.
This is a universal problem. Everyone has this problem. Because Krishna will not give anything easily. Prahlad Maharaj also had problem. If a person is in family or is renounced, he will have this problem. So one or the other disturbing element will be present next to us. Srila Prabhupada also had this problem. So devotional service will not be so easily. Krishna will not give his devotion to anybody so easily. Some obstacles will be kept. Either Krishna himself will bring to test us, or it may be because of our own anarthas. So it will keep coming. That we have to overcome by our practice. You continue your devotional service. If you think that whatever you're doing is disturbing the other person, then you can maintain some distance. Don't force them. You can identify what they like. They may like prasadam, or they may like to hear some kirtan. Such things you can give. And what they don't like, you don't give. There are so many angas for the devotion. This also we'll study in the next coming chapters. What are the different angas, means limbs of bhakti. What are the different ways how we can attract the jiva, or we can give this devotional service to others. So in whatever way they like, you can give, and what they don't like, don't give, because they may make offenses. So better don't do that. And if you think that I have difficulty in chanting, or somebody is disturbing me, and I want to get rid of this, that is not possible. We should continue with it. Even if a brahmachari also, he will have one or the other reason why he has not finished his chanting at the right time. So this is there everywhere. It is a universal problem. So go with it, and Krishna will see our sincere endeavor, and he will remove all the obstacles.
Sure. Yes, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Muralidharan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
In fact, I had a thought that as long as they don't directly disturb, their silence also is like a support for us.
Yes.
They don't encounter in your way or trouble you in your chantings or ask any questions on those. Yeah, sometimes I get disturbed when they make snide remarks. Oh, you and your chanting, or you and your Prabhupada, or yeah, we hear the sound of your, Prabhupada singing or something like that. I just ignore. At the same time, they're not disturbing that directly. They just make some remarks, and I feel probably, their making such remarks probably makes me more strong. That's what I'm looking at. And prasada is definitely, you said, whatever I gather for Ekadashi, there is great attraction in the family for everybody to get it. I want to eat it. I want to eat. I said, yeah, thank you, Krishna. Something is happening.
Yes.
That's how I look at it.
For small children, the flower garland, they like very much. You take the flower garland of Radha Govinda and you put around their neck, they become so happy. And by taking that fragrance of that flower, it has a lot of effect on the people. By regularly taking the fragrance of the flower which is offered to Krishna, a person will be completely out of this impersonal tendency. That impersonal philosophy will never touch him. It will never convince his mind. If that is a effect of taking the fragrance of flower offered to Krishna. So there are so many. This will be explained in the next coming classes. What are the different angas of the bhakti and what are the benefits that we get from all these things? So in this way we can do. And these comments are, it is there. Even if you win the entire world, you will become the king of the universe. Still there is somebody who is commenting on you. Oh, that fellow, I know him. They will tell commenting. So even if you become the president of America also, there are people who are commenting. So you can't escape from that. That is the nature of this world. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. You just said, taking the fragrance of the flowers offered to the Lord. So has it to be only from the temple or your own vigraha at home also?
Both are allowed. Both are good. It is temple worship means it is a standard way of worshipping. In the home, what kind of standard is maintained? Just like in the temple, the Lord is like a king. And in the home, it is like when the king comes to the home, then how do we serve the king? Whatever available, with that we serve. King will not demand same kind of service at his palace, because that is not possible. He will understand. So accordingly, we should serve. So if the king comes to home, how do we serve? Whatever we have, we should give the best. But this is what we have. So please accept. That's how we can do. But in the temple, we should have the best quality or the highest standard, which is prescribed by acharyas. So both are okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. If there are no more questions, then we'll end the session for today. So next class will be starting with the chapter number 1, that is characteristics of pure devotional service. I suggest everyone to have this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, so that we can make some notes, means some comments or whatever I tell, you can write down there. Some paragraphs, they are dedicated to certain concepts. So in that way, I'll go on explaining. So at that time, you can note down there itself, so that if you have the book with you. So that is my suggestion. Otherwise, the book is also available in Veda base, which I have Netrati Mataji already shared in the group. And also there is a PDF. If you want, I will share that also. Those who want to take the printouts, in case if it is difficult to get the book, you can take the printouts of that and you can keep with you. Okay, with this we'll end the class.
Prabhuji, we'll get the recording of this today because there's not live streaming.
Yeah, it's recorded. I'll upload now.
Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I thank all the devotees for coming to today's class and actively participating in the discussion. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva patitanam pavanebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.